Running down the western border of Thailand in the province of Kanchanaburi, the River Kwai is one of the most important landmarks in the historic Thai-Burma train line, the aptly named Death Railway. While we were visiting this fascinating part of Thailand, we stayed at the Hintok River Camp, right on the banks of the Kwai. Now a luxury camping resort, Hintok is also part of the history of the Death Railway. The camp is on the site of a POW internment where British soldiers captured by the Japanese Imperial Army in World War II were forced to work on the train line. The resort has kept the name of the military prison and labour camp that once stood here. The meandering path leads you through beautifully maintained grounds to various hammocks and hangout spots, daybeds and cabanas dotted around the lush gardens, and to astounding views out over the river. But it's down by the river that you find some of the best parts of this resort. Down a flight of steps, we find the rock pools, which are fed by a natural spring that emerges from the cliff. From these pools, you can look out over the landscape as you cool down in the refreshing spring water. Down at the water's edge, the hotel's pontoon floats on the rapid eddying waters of the River Kwai. This waterside deck and the elevated cliff edge pools give the resort an extra touch of glamour and uniqueness. Meanwhile, up above, the resort bar has prime views over the jungle-edged water as the sun sets. In the evening, as the resort's lights come on, dinner beckons us to the camp's alfresco dining option. Paper lanterns and broad timber tables are spread out across the lawn, while staff wait behind buffet carts that cover two sides of the area. Here we find all kinds of delectable Thai dishes, from soups and curries to satay and salads. It's hard to stop ourselves going back for more. In the morning, breakfast is under the straw roofs of the main building. This is also a buffet style situation, and there are plenty of options, both Western and Thai. There's also an egg station where you can get made to order omelettes. And if you feel the need for more coffee throughout the day, there's also a standalone barista style cafe in the gardens. Also at the Hintok River Camp, you'll find a neat little museum dedicated to this area. It tells the story of 300 British prisoners of war who were kept here to work on the compressor cutting, an excavation that the POWs were forced to access down a near vertical 250-foot climb. Of the 300 prisoners, 79 never returned home. In 1998, the owner of the land dug out a recess used as a refuse pit and discovered hundreds of POW artefacts from that time. Many of them are on display here in the museum, which is on the site of the former camp kitchen. But as the owner dug deeper, he began to find objects that were older, far older than from World War II. Polished Neolithic tools and pottery between 4,000 and 6,000 years old started to appear. And the further down the dig went, so the more primitive the unearthed tools became. Some of the oldest Stone Age items may have even been as old as 10,000 years. Accommodation here is really camping in name only. Our tent, if you can call it that, has its own veranda and is big enough to house a king double and a king single bed, as well as all the other furniture. It even has air conditioning. But the best is yet to come. At the back of the tent is a full, solid wall bathroom with hot and cold running water, a flush toilet and a power shower. Out on the veranda we can relax at the outdoor table setting or in the recliner deck chairs. This is definitely not how I remember camping to be when I was growing up, but I tell you what, I could get used to it. The other great thing about Hintok River Camp is its proximity to Hellfire Pass. Running for 75 metres, Hellfire Pass, also known as Konyu Cutting, delves 25 metres into the hillside and is wide enough for a train to run through. We were lucky enough to be here at Hellfire Pass for Anzac Day dawn service, trooping through the cutting in the eerie hours before daybreak. Walking with us were military personnel in full uniform, heightening the significance of where we were. the towering walls lit by paraffin flames giving the dark, cool morning air a ghostly and sad overtone. At the end of the cutting is a dell where the war memorial and cenotaph is. Usually it's quiet here, but as the dark blue skies of dawn light up our surroundings, we see just how big the gathering is around us. As you'd expect, it's a solemn service, but it's also one that celebrates uniquely human attributes: heroism, sacrifice, honour, bravery. At the end of the service, flower wreaths mount up against the shining black granite of the cenotaph as people pay their final respects to the fallen. The walk back through the cutting is less sombre than on the way in, though now it's fully light we can see the memorials that people have left in the walls of the cutting. Groups have their photos taken together and reflect on the ceremony, which lightens the mood. We even get to chat to Her Excellency Dr. Angela MacDonald, the Australian Ambassador to Thailand. You'll also find the Hellfire Pass Interpretive Centre here. This museum to the railway looks out over the jungle and river system that paid witness to the horrors of the work camps in the 1940s. At the entrance is a simulation of conure cutting with sloping walls, sounds of hammers on stone, and a projection of the train trestles on the ground. The names on the wall represent the men who worked on the railway, and the sheer number is haunting testament to the scale of the labour camps. The centre tells a story of Hellfire Pass and of other cuttings along the line, but most of all, it does well to make sense of a mindless moment in human history that makes no sense at all. Visiting the Death Railway and staying at Hintok River Camp is a travel experience that will stay with us for the rest of our lives.